Hey guys, welcome to the Safe Space, a mental health podcast. I am your host, Mo Lou. I just want to thank you guys so much for just your feedback, your comments, your likes, your subscribes, everything that you guys have done so far to just be encouraging. And I'm just glad at the feedback I've been getting so far, and I feel like I definitely am looking forward to just what's to come. The intro episode, I was just letting you guys know what this episode is about. Last week's episode, I had my two girls on here, Olivia and Nicole, and we answered some of the questions that you guys had from the survey that I created about mental health. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking a little bit about me, how I grew up, how I was brought up, and kind of what's gotten me here. So basically, I grew up in a single parent household. My mom pretty much raised me majority of my life. Her and my dad were together when I was young. I probably split at maybe around like 3 or 4, and then once they split, my mom moved in with my grandmother, and I grew up with my mom. Right, I also have an older brother, so me and him, we grew up in a single parent household, so we had each other obviously. And my childhood was great, honestly. Like, if I'm being completely honest, and I am, like, I cannot thinking about my childhood, I don't think about my childhood and get sad because my mom made it so great. My mom, she's been my backbone, she's been my support system. She did a great job at just making, being that solid, strong mom, and I had fun. I had a whole lot of friends. I was always doing something as a kid. I don't think it really hit me that I didn't have the actual structure of, a family with a mom and a dad and a child. Like, it didn't hit me that I didn't have that until probably about 16. And then it dawned on me, and then I was like in shock and crying and stuff, right? I think hormones played a role. And also, I got to an age where, I understood. I started to realize that, I had close friends whose parents were married. When I would go to their houses, when I would go to my friends' houses or spend the night over my friends' houses and be around my friends all the time, constantly going to their houses and engaging with their parents, talking to their parents, they were what it looked like to me happily married, and they had the perfect structure of a family. Then looking at my life and seeing how, I'm like, something's different. And then that's when it hit me that, oh, okay, your dad's not around, Then when it hit me, it definitely affected me emotionally. Like, I remember there was one day, it was a Father's Day church service, right? And so everybody's like talking about their dads, and like the sermon was about Father's Day. And I was just sitting down, and then I started bawling, and I was sitting next to all of my friends. So like, I'm bawling, crying, and everybody's like, yo, is she crying? And then my mom hugged me, because she was aware that I was emotional and stuff. And yeah, a lot of things ran through my mind, I feel like, during that age period, just a bracket of like after 16 and 17, maybe even 18 too. But like a lot of, yeah, those are like vital years. But also childhood is too. And I want to talk a little bit about that too. Things that are absent from your life as a child affect you when you get older. And sometimes a lot of people, people may not believe that, but I mean, it's true. That's why, I definitely want to talk about this, on this podcast. A lot of this information people don't know. People are older, they're adults, they're angry, they shut people out, they have walls up, they maybe are aggressive and have anger problems. They deal with men a certain kind of way, they deal with women a certain kind of way because of maybe things that went on in their childhood, but they just think that, no, people just get on my nerves. Me knowing that childhood development is pivotal and is important to adult development helped me to understand why certain things may hit me a certain kind of way emotionally, or why this thing might get me upset, and I feel like other people need to know too. Me not having both of my parents did affect me throughout teenage years and then college, a little bit of college. I was very emotional thinking about the fact that my father was not there because I had questions. I didn't understand why. It didn't make sense to me. I didn't understand why my two parents not being together equaled me not having a parent, So, and do I necessarily have all my questions answered about that? No. But I have been able to just get wholeness within myself. We as individuals have to go on quests to fill ourselves up with things that are good for us instead of, filling ourselves up with things that are not good for us. We don't even know that the reason why we may be acting out, the reason why we may be having sex with mad people, why we getting drunk every weekend, turning up, blacking out, all of this stuff, we may not even realize that the reason why is because there's a void that we're trying to fill from something stemming back all the way from childhood. I think it's important for us to know the facts. It's important for us to know an absentee parent can affect us emotionally. There's different things. There's a whole bunch of different things. The loss of somebody, a relationship failing, friendships failing, different things. When I realized that I wanted to study psychology, it was actually in middle school. And I don't even think at that time I didn't realize yet that I didn't have both of my parents. But that was just something in my heart that I was like, yep, I want to be a psychologist. I was in 7th grade. I just kept that growing up. I went to college. I studied psychology. I got my bachelor's in psychology. I graduated in May of 2018. Woo, class of 2018. I'm looking into schools now so that I can become licensed in New York. A lot of the things that I learned in my psych courses, I feel like have been very solid information that I feel like helped me. Like whenever something happens, I always go back to oh, okay, I learned this in, social psych, or I learned this in theories of personality. I decided I wanted to start the podcast because I feel like this is not just a conversation for other people who are into psychology. This is not just a conversation for other people who may have had a childhood or life like I have. This is a conversation for everybody because everybody deals with mental health in some way, form, or fashion. This is why I do what I do. I do what I do because I'm not immune, and that's another thing too. I feel like a lot of times people who do advocate for mental health and talk about mental health, people on the outside looking may think that, oh, that person thinks they know it all, or oh, that person doesn't go through anything or doesn't feel anything. And that's furthest from the truth. That person probably feels just as much as you do, right? And so I want to share, I want to build community with you guys, and I really want for there to just be dialogue. It's hard being vulnerable and honest, which I'm doing right now, and it's hard. It's one of the scariest things to do, especially with talking about mental health, but it's necessary. The question that I had asked in the survey was, what topics would you like to learn more about as it relates to mental health, right? And somebody responded, ways to overcome and persevere through mental health, and what can be triggers for mental health without knowing. So for the first question, ways to overcome and persevere through mental health, or ways to overcome, for one, it depends on what it is that you're dealing with and battling with mental health. For me specifically, I deal with anxiety. I struggle with anxiety. Our bodies, everybody's chemical makeup and everybody's body and reactions and different things are different, right? So, but we all have fight or flight responses. Fight or flight is your body's, it's things going on in your brain, and your body is either going to tell you to get out of there, it's going to be go, or your body is going to, something may be happening that is causing you to feel I don't know what to do, and you feel like you're fighting your inner, you're fighting everything that you're feeling internally to withstand whatever the situation is that's going on. Fight or flight responses, but that has to do with your brain. With that, the way that we can, persevere through mental health is to keep fighting. With the fight or flight responses, don't flight. Allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to whatever it is, whether it's anxiety, whether it's depression, whether it's whatever it is for you, allow yourself to feel it, face it head on, and then you'll overcome. Another thing is whatever the thing is that causes you to get in a space of where you're struggling mentally, try to remove whatever those things could be. Try to remove whatever could get you to that place where, your mental health it's feeling your well-being is being compromised, or so there's something like a trigger. Get rid of those things. Only allow things in your space that will elevate you, make you feel at peace, make you feel at ease. So that's what I would say for that. Just fight and eliminate anything that will cause you to get into a frenzy or in a panic or whatever the case may be. And the second part of the question was, what can be triggers for mental health without knowing? That's something that I guess my answer to that is you have to know what your triggers are. You have to know your triggers, and that's something for me that I'm still, I'm still like, you know, like I feel like I know for the most part what are my triggers for anxiety, because I be like, it's like as soon as I feel like I'm just like, nope, stop, don't do it. Like I just feel like you gotta know, but you'll know from experience. When something happens, after, like if you get into a mode where you feel like you had an anxiety attack or panic attack or something caused you to whatever, after it happens and you calm down, sit down and think back. Think back to everything that happened before you got into a frenzy, before you got into your panic mode or your manic mode or whatever. Think about everything that happened before that, and the the next time something like that happens, if whatever you thought about it happened again, that's your trigger. But if you are in a situation where something triggers you and you don't understand why or how or what it is that is causing you to feel this way, then evaluate your surroundings. See who you're around, what you're around, where are you. You have to observe. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was informative. I hope you guys feel a little bit closely connected to me from me sharing a little bit about me and my, journey. And yeah, I mean, I'll be sharing more as future episodes come. But I know I was getting requests of like, no, we want to hear about you, and I'm like, why? I'm like, why? But I'm doing this for the cause of mental health. I'm doing this for community engagement, to engage with my people, for the betterness of people. Don't we want to be better? This world is crazy. We need this. We need this. And I want and would love to see other people doing it as well and engaging with me. Collaborations, I'm here for it all day long. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I certainly did. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know if you hated it. Let me know if you love it. Let me know if you have any topics or any questions for future episodes. My email, the safe space podcast 1@gmail.com. Email me, my IG _Molu. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching.